House Democrats have been fighting to get a hold of Donald Trump's taxes. In fact, the House Ways and Means Committee had sent a letter requesting 6 years worth of Donald Trump's business and personal taxes. Now, with that said, it appears that the Trump administration and his lackeys are fighting tooth and nail to prevent the release of his tax returns. And Mick Mulvaney, who is his current acting chief of staff, is spreading the Trump talking points on this matter. Here's Mulvaney doing just that.
To be clear, you believe Democrats will never see the president's tax returns?
Oh, no, never. No, nor should they. Keep in mind that that's an issue that was already litigated during the election. Voters knew the president could have given his tax returns. They knew that he didn't, and they elected him anyway.
So Mulvaney is wrong there, and I'm gonna prove it to you. You might think that voters, especially Trump voters, were okay with not seeing his taxes, but that is actually completely false. During the election, Donald Trump said on multiple occasions that he would be okay with releasing his taxes and that he intended to release his taxes. Here's some evidence of that.
Would you release tax returns?
I would release tax returns. Well, we're working on that now. I have very big returns, as you know, and I have everything all approved and very beautiful. Well, I'd certainly go over tax returns.
I'm very honest on my tax returns.
What is your tax rate?
I'm not going to say it, but at some point I'll release it.
The only one that cares about my tax returns are the reporters, okay? They're the only ones.
Well, nobody cares about it except some of the folks in the media. Nobody cares about it.
I don't think they care at all. I think you care.
They're extremely complex. People wouldn't understand them.
Nobody knows the tax return business or world better than me.
But people don't understand tax returns.
Getting any closer to releasing your tax returns?
Well, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about maybe when we find out the true story on Hillary's emails.
You said afterwards, if you produce that long form birth cert, you produce your tax returns, but you didn't do it, did you?
Well, I don't know. Did he do it? As far as my return, I want to file it, except for many years, I've been audited every year. They're under audit. They have been for a long time.
Well, I'm not releasing the tax returns because, as you know, they're under audit.
But I'm being audited now for 2 or 3 years. And I'm under audit, a routine audit. And when the audit's complete, I'll release my returns. But when the audit is complete, I'll release my returns. I have no problem with it. It doesn't matter. Audit me, audit me, audit me.
Okay, so 2 things about that. Michael Cohen, his former lawyer, who would know, obviously, said that in fact he was not under audit in 2016 and lied about it. And part of the reason that he lied about it is because he didn't want to be audited, and he's worried that if federal regulators, investigators look at his tax returns, they will see criminal fraud. And of course, that's why he's hiding it. Plus, he's of course not nearly as rich as he makes himself out to be. The guy's gone bankrupt 6 times. He's basically burned through daddy's money. So loser through and through, hiding it, said he would release them, not releasing them. Look, even if you're a MAGA guy, you can say, oh, I don't care, nobody cares. You can say anything you like. But what you can't say is that he's not hiding them, because he clearly is.
He clearly is hiding them, and we can only predict what could be in those tax returns, but there are ways of not predicting. There are, reports, that very in-depth New York Times report looking into Donald Trump's inheritance and what he and his family did in basically committing tax fraud. It was right there, it was reported. It was a lengthy piece by the New York Times, but it was excellent reporting. And so if you look at his past and what he was willing to do in the past to save money in taxes by committing tax fraud, it wouldn't be far-fetched to assume that he would carry out that same activity or behavior with subsequent tax filings. Now, with that said though, regardless of what the MAGA guys think or what the MAGA guys want, if you look at polling on this issue, the vast majority of Americans do want to see his tax returns. So a Washington Post ABC poll conducted in January of this year found that 60% of people want the new House Democratic majority to do what they're now trying to do, which is obtain those tax returns.
So 60% of the country is no joke, man. You don't win elections if 60% of the country is opposing you. So, and usually, remember, there's usually a category of don't know, not sure, etc. So the number of people saying that, nah, he shouldn't release them is not a high number, obviously. Now let's talk about the law for a second, because of course he's on Twitter saying, oh, the law's 100% with me. So it depends. So this one is actually more mixed. So he did not release his tax returns, unlike every president since 1976. but by law, he does not have to release them. So that part is true. A shockingly somewhat true statement by Donald Trump. Okay, now, when the Democrats in the House ask for his tax returns, by law, he must give it to them. And more accurately, the IRS must hand it over to the Treasury Department, which must hand it over to Congress. That's 100% fact. There's nothing they can do about that. So the law is not with him once Congress asks for the returns, and they have. Well, so what Mulvaney, his acting chief of staff, is saying is, we're gonna fight it, and we're gonna try to drag it out in court. So even though they're right on the law, hopefully it'll take so long that we can get past the election without you guys realizing what an embarrassment and lifelong criminal my boss is. And so that's what's happening now. But the law is super clear. The only defense that the Republicans have, and it's a sad one, but of course, as usual, legitimized by the mainstream media, who has to say, hey, he said this and she said that, and right? Is, well, the law that the Democrats are using to get his tax returns are from the 1920s.
So?
And? Like, I don't know what that means.
So does that mean our Constitution is worthless?
Exactly, and the Constitution is from 1789, so I guess that doesn't matter anymore. So that makes no sense at all.
Wow.
Like, oh, counterpoint. I didn't see that one coming. So you're telling me that it's been the law of the land for a long time. That doesn't really help your case. So yes, we have every right to see his tax returns. And if he doesn't turn them over, as usual, he is trying to subvert the legal process. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.